Good morning. Welcome to yet another episode of Miles on Vans. But before we kick off today, I want to give you a special announcement. I want to give you a good news, a great news indeed. I woke up this morning and we are 900 followers stronger. Remember the first video I made before I went to Barbados? Or when I came back from Barbados rather, in Europe. I started from 1 subscriber until I got to 100 and I made the first video, my first thank you video. I want to give you exclusive tour of my hometown where I grew up. My friends from Barbados, my friends from Jamaica, I have something special for you, so don't go away. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are 900 subscribers stronger, just 100 to go. I'm not trying to be greedy, but 1,000 followers would be a dream come true, would be a landmark that I've been waiting for. All right, a little bit of history about me. When I travel, I talk about history a lot. If you've been watching my channel, places that I like to go of my interest, I like to know a bit of history. But I think it's fair if you know my own history. I was born in a royal kingdom. I come from the family of kings. So you didn't know, but now you do. My grandfather, his house is here by the right. This is my grandfather's home. I'll give you an exclusive tour inside. My grandfather was the brother of the king when I was born. I was born when I knew. Anyway, by the way, this is a totally Christian community. You can see Catholic influence here. So it's nothing bad, just showing you that this place is Christian dominated kingdom or area, and most people here are predominantly Catholics. I'll give you an exclusive tour of what inside looks like. This is where the kings and the chiefs gather, have meetings, discuss important issues on how to run the village or run the town. I come from eastern part of Nigeria. As you may have known, a lot of people wrote in the comment section asking me where I come from. I come from Nigeria, and this is the community where I was born. I was born and I realized that my grandfather was the brother of the king, of the then king. But before his brother was made a king, the king's brother was a king as well. So the king's brother passed away and the hereditary rights went to my grandfather's brother. And here you see on your screen, it reminds me of some of the houses I saw in Barbados. I remember when I said the houses I saw on the screen in Barbados were small, and I remember a lot of people attacked me in the comment section. I remember coming into this place as a kid. You're always welcome. I was always welcome, but you always have to, be in an orderly form because you're coming to the king's place. And we sat on the floor where the king seated, the chief seated, and all the elders seated. I even don't know how to start, but yeah, let me give you some exclusive tour. The house here was struck down or was knocked down, and a new one is being constructed. And very soon, my grandfather's house, as you see on the screen where the cars are parked, will be knocked off very soon, because that's the trend. A lot of old houses are being removed and replaced with the new ones. All right, let's see what inside looks like. Here you go. It reminds me of the houses, some of the houses I see in Barbados and in Jamaica. I wish I could show you inside the first level, but I heard it's locked, so I can only show you the ground floor for now. It's quite dark, but it's very cool here. No one lives here anymore because the houses here have been removed and the new ones have been built. A new one was built down there, over there at the village square. I'll show you how it looks like. but this old one is still in place, hasn't been removed. I remember this house from my childhood when we came here, sat by the foot of the king, and he always gave us blessings. He always made us gifts. This is the stairway up. Wooden stairway, still preserved. It still stands. Not scary at all, but I want to show you how it looks like over there. It's locked for now, so there's no point going further. Right, let's continue with exclusive tour of my community. Don't go away. This is my grandfather's house. I grew up here as a boy, while my father and my mom were business people living in another city in Nigeria. I grew up here with my grandfather and my grandmom, so this house leaves a lot of memories. Now you can sort of understand why I travel and I go to the countryside. This is my own countryside. Let me know in the comment section below. I played in this square as a kid. As you see these kids roaming around, I was like them. I was once like them some 25 years ago, say 30 years ago. I was once like them until I eventually moved to the town, met my mom, and grew up as a boy and traveled to Europe. So that house you see over there, my grandfather passed away last year. He didn't want the house to be knocked down, so one of his sons, my uncle, built this. If not, that house would have been removed by now and there would be nothing to show you. So we kind of preserve the culture here. The house is how it was before. Remember, when I was in Barbados, I always wanted to know how the houses look like. I took a tour of Christchurch area and Bridgetown area, St. Peter, yeah. And my second uncle built this as well. Instead of removing the old house, they built a new one. So the old house stays. We like to preserve, but not everyone is fortunate enough to have this space to build. They buy land elsewhere and build, or they knock down the old building to build a new one. Actually, in our culture, I don't need any permission to go to this house, but I always ask people for permission to be, polite while I travel in Ukraine, in Barbados, wherever, it doesn't matter. But in our culture, my direct uncle does not need to invite me before I come to his house. This is African culture. I can come to his house and go straight to the kitchen, take some food. That's how it happens down here. Okay, I see some cleanup over. Yoshiko. Right, so going inside might not be what I want to show you. I want to show you something interesting, so don't go away. Now you have some idea of my countryside and why I love the countryside. I think I should give you a tour of my school where I studied. I studied in 3 schools here before I moved to the town and eventually traveled to Europe for my further education. But yeah, this is actually what I want to show you. Inside here is a well, and the depth I asked is about 290 feet down, where we get groundwater, right? And there is an electric pump right in there that helps pump water from the ground well to this reservoir. So the water comes deep from the well, 290 feet below, and goes up for the reservoir. You can see a lot of constructions and pipings for the house, my uncle's house, and to my grandfather's old house. And this supplies water to the villagers for free. They don't have to pay for it. So you expect things like this in the village, in the countryside where I come from. I remember as a kid, some people who did this before, but very far away, did it for free as well. But it needs a lot of maintenance, and some of them don't live in Nigeria. So when the pump kind of stops working, or when the pump gets faulty, no one maintains them, no one kind of fixes them, so it becomes redundant and nobody gets water, right? So we come from a very dry area in this time of the year, but it can be very rainy. It's not dry all through the year. We have rain from the months of from the months of May, June, July, August, and we have a dry season from September till February. From September till February, it's usually dry. Over there is the village square. There was a masquerade display 2 days ago. I filmed a bit of it because I was in a hurry. I had to go elsewhere. Yeah, I'll share that video. I filmed there as well. I remember playing here as a kid. And this is our fig tree. The culture here is that the fig tree never gets cultivated. You don't harvest it, sorry. Harvest is the word. You always have to wait for it to fall before you pick them up. But the kids nowadays, they throw stones at them to get them free. And yeah. But the culture is, it grows. Yeah, good morning. Yoshiko. Remember the underground water I just showed you? The piping goes beneath the earth and comes down here for all the villagers to take water for free. So this is my uncle's kindness to all the villagers. No one pays a dime, and right now we get little or no rainfall. The only way to get water is from the underground well. Let's continue, don't go away. I want to show you grandpa's goats. They're very shy. That's the mom. That's the mom with her kids. They're both twins, but that's the girl and this is the boy. They are quite very shy. Fresh fruits, we almost don't eat them because they're in abundance. Here she goes. They never let you come close. Remember me touching the goats in Moldova, but these ones are so shy, they don't let you to come close. This is a mini garden. Remember, I love to explore the countryside. This is a mini garden. You can see the ripe tomato over there and the green ones over here, waiting for them to get ripe before we use them. This is sort of a nursery. This is a very bitter green leaf for making soup, and this is a curry, the curry leaf. So my Belgian friends and my friends from Jamaica and from the Caribbean, this is what Mother Africa looks like. Mother Africa. Alright, don't go away. Let's continue with the tour. I love inside houses, and I can't cheat you with this. I'll show you what inside my grandfather's house looks like. Ooh, it's a bit dark. We have luggages that needs to be sorted. Right, does that picture look familiar? And that was my gift to my grandfather on my graduation. When I graduated from university, I made this present for my grandfather because I lived with my grandfather almost half of my life before I joined my parents and eventually moved to Europe. And over there is the man himself, my grandfather and my grandmom. My grandmom first passed away before grandfather. They made me who I am. I learned all my kindness actually from my grandfather and my grandmom, and I learned a lot of good things from them. I always stick around them, I always listen to them, and they made me a good person. I actually grew with them. I didn't grow with my parents. My parents were always busy with work, dad traveling. My father was a traveler, but my mom was home base until she moved away from Nigeria as well. And this is our family altar. This is where we pray as a family. This is a very Christian area where we pray to God for all sort of wishes, for good luck, for good life, prosperity, etc. Here we are. Yeah, we're a Catholic community, a strong Catholic community, so you expect to see this not in every home, but like my grandfather was a devout Christian in the church, so we have a family altar. Right, so I can't show you around without showing you the king's place. So I'm going to the king's place. Good morning. To show you who is our king and what our king's place looks like. Remember, I come from the family of kings. I come from a royal family. This is where our king lives. He's up there with some guests. He's a good man. He's a good man. Right, sorry, the king is not dressed. I cannot take the camera to the king's face when he's not dressed. He's a bit busy with some villagers, like discussing some village stuff, so it's quite a bit impolite to take my camera to the face of the king when he's not dressed. At least he's still waking up from sleep. Ma, good morning. Good damn. Hello, man. Kings. My lord, Timmy. I'm with the king's mom. My lord, Timmer. I grew up with her. She fed me while my parents were away. She took very good care of me. This is the mom of our current king, the mother of the king. The mother of our king. She is a great woman. There's no how I can come to the king's house without coming to say hi to her. We're going to have some off-camera talks, which you don't necessarily need to know the details, but yeah. This is one of the most important women in my life that took care of me, made me who I am till date. So this is the king's mom. Anyways, I'll continue my talk, but I'm gonna have a pause. See you when I see you. Don't go away. I just finished speaking with the king's mom. This way is the way to my grandmother's home. If I have more time, I'll show you the way to my grandmother's home and probably show you inside. Our community is very family oriented. The grandmothers, the grandfathers, you can go to their homes. All the relatives can come to your home without invitation, and it's pretty much normal down here. The king's mom told me a lot of stories, and I was right, because I remember from school that the early white men, so to say, who came here were the missionaries. They brought in all forms of religion, and they brought in trade from England, Portugal, but most especially from England. I also asked her a very important topic, slave trade. So she told me that during her time, her grandmothers, her grandfathers also let her know that they heard the story. They heard the story that it happened in distant places like Lagos, Benin, the cities in the coastal part of Nigeria. We are sort of in a landlocked place in the southeastern place or southeastern state of Nigeria. So the slave merchants could not penetrate because there were no roads. They needed to come to the shore, pick up their merchants, fellow Africans, took them to the Caribbeans, to England, Americas, even South America, etc. So should I say we're sort of lucky here? I don't know. Or should we say we're sort of fortunate that it didn't get here? Over there is a sand truck. A lot of buildings are erupting everywhere. You can come to my hometown and I'll give you a tour. But if I'm not here, if I'm in Europe or somewhere, I can call a friend or a family member who's going to show you around. Right, so I'm right here in the heart of the village. This is the square of the village. This is the village square. This is where all the festivals, all the cultural displays go on. Everything that has to do with celebrations, festivals, weddings, just name it. This is the village square. This is not the village city center. The village city center is already developed. Perhaps I will vlog there and show you my village city center. It doesn't look like this. It looks way different than what you see right now. But this is the village square. And over there is the heart of the village at the King's Place, as you see from afar. Growing up, we played in this square, played all sorts of games, football, all sorts of childhood games. This was a water project that supplies free water to the villages, but I don't know what happened, it's not functioning. I'm going to give you an exclusive tour of my village market. Just don't go away. You spoke and I listened, and this morning we have 900 subscribers. Thank you so much. I can't wait to show you around. I can't wait to take you around my hometown. You must have heard me a lot saying I like the countryside, I love the countryside. I grew up in the countryside. I grew up in this community. So I think it would be fair if I show you where I grew up. This is my hometown. Let me know in the comment section below what more you would like to see. Let me know things that interest you while I wait for the king. He promised to give us an exclusive guided tour in the palace. This, I remember, this building you see here is where all the kings and all the chiefs met when we were kids to discuss matters that, you know, that keep the community safe. They discuss important matters, how to run the community, how to run to the village. But it wasn't like this. It was a small one, then it got remodeled into a bigger one until it got here. So every year there is some improvement, but the fact is, the culture or the tradition remains that it should never be knocked down. You can do some adjustments, you can do some renovations, but it should never be torn down. So a bit of history is preserved here, intact, right? So this is why I like history. This is why I love history. And over here in the Igbo calendar, we have 4 market days, as we have 7 business days from Monday to Sunday. We have 4 market days. The 4 market days stand in place of these business days. So there is Eke, Ore, Afo, and Nkwo. These are the 4 Igbo business days before the arrival of the English calendar or the Georgian calendar. Before the arrival of the English calendar or the Georgian calendar. These 4 business days, there are things that they represent. For example, you can never get married on the first business day, which is Eke. Nobody ever gets married on Eke day. So that's a bit of it. But until the next episode, I think I should cut it here. But before I make the next video, let me know what more you'd like to see. Let me know what you want me to film in my hometown. But see you when I see you. Peace. Don't go away.